Hi, Total Recapped here. Today we will be going through the events of the 2018 action-adventure movie Deadpool 2, directed by David Leitch. Now warning, this video contains spoilers, so watch at your own risk. Now let's get right into the movie. At the start of the film, Deadpool's Wade Wilson sits calmly in his flat. He then sets fire to his residence in an attempt to commit suicide. He doesn't want to live any longer and wants to die. As his flat is on fire and his body pieces are flying all around, he starts narrating the reason why Deadpool wanted to commit suicide. The scene switches to a pub 6 weeks prior when Deadpool is fighting with a group of men. He mocks them before approaching them and finishing them all with his incredible swordsmanship and gun abilities. Despite being wounded many times, he recovers quickly and is ready to battle them back in no time. On his anniversary with his fiancée Vanessa, Deadpool fails to assassinate one of his targets after successfully serving as the mercenary Deadpool for 2 years. At night, Vanessa is spotted waiting for him, though he does arrive home late. Deadpool attempts but fails to find reasons for his delay. They share anniversary gifts and decide to start a family together after a sweet kiss. As Wade prepares dessert for his wife, 3 of the thugs arrive at their home and begin assaulting them mercilessly. Deadpool fights back with kitchen knives, but the final one, which was the previously escaped target, shoots Vanessa and she dies instantly. Wade is enraged and pursues the man, catching him and throwing him in front of a speeding truck. After that, he returns to Vanessa, who is dead, and swears to take revenge on her death by killing all of the wicked guys on the planet who are torturing others for no reason. He blames himself for her death, which is why he is experimenting with numerous methods of suicide. In the next scene, Deadpool is seen attempting suicide by leaping from a skyscraper, slashing himself, and attempting to burn himself. He has failed in all of his attempts since he is eternal and nothing can harm him, even if he blew up all of his bodily parts. The scenario switches back to the present when he blows up his flat and himself. Right then, he has a vision of Vanessa who informs him that everything he is doing is wrong. She goes on to say that this isn't the thing he is meant to do. Deadpool's body shatters into bits, which Colossus, the Steel Man, reassembles in a sack to transport him back to the X-Mansion. Wade has just a skee-ball token as a final reminder of Vanessa, which he received as an anniversary present. The scene then moves to the Essex House, Mutant Rehabilitation Center, where a young overweight teenager named Firefist is conversing with the rehabilitation house's head, the headmaster. The headmaster tells him that his condition would be cured and that he will be able to function normally like any other human being. Colossus assembles his body pieces inside the X-Mansion. Deadpool is cured and then returns to normalcy. He spends his time there alongside Colossus, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and Yukio, Negasonic's lover. Yukio is a lovely young lady with pink hair. Colossus begins to explain the conditions he must follow in order to remain in the X-Men residence with them. In the next scene, Cable, a robotic soldier with a laser-like light streaming from his left eye, is featured. He discovers the bodies of his family members around him and seems enraged at the person who burned them alive. Portraits of his family members are gathered around him, and he appears outraged at the person who burnt them to death. Following that, he discovers who murdered his family and begins to track him out in the past. Later, he adjusts the watch in his hand and travels through time to a location where 2 of the other guys are conversing. He questions them about the current year and then flees, knocking them out and stealing their car. The headmaster of the mutant school consoles the children by reminding them that he is well aware of their unusual powers and will do everything he can to assist them. He advises them to hide their skills rather than flaunt them in front of the public. He summons Firefist to the stage for a demonstration of the technique and begins torturing him with electric equipment. The children are informed by the headmaster that they are unable to manage their power, they would be subjected to the same torment. Meanwhile, Colossus approaches Deadpool and invites him to join him at the mutant school. Firefist, who had grown tired of the torture, had already damaged 2 police vehicles and showed no indications of stopping. He is shown destroying anything that gets in his path with his power to throw fire out of his hands. The X-Men team arrives and does everything they can to prevent the boy from destroying everything. Instead of being peaceful, he becomes enraged and assaults the X-Men. After Deadpool knocks him out with the base of his sword, the cops are able to arrest him and place a device around his neck that will disable his powers. The audience applauds Deadpool, but as he approaches Firefist, he notices bruising around his neck. He inquires about him and learns that he was tortured by the headmaster and his staff. When Deadpool hears this, he pulls out his gun and kills one of the staff members standing alongside the headmaster. Colossus intervenes to prevent him from attacking the other members of the staff and attempts to persuade him that the X-Men do not damage or murder people. Police approach Deadpool and he is also arrested with the same device around his neck. Now in the following scene, Deadpool and Firefist are transferred to the Icebox, which is an isolated jail for mutant criminals, confined with collars that disable their powers. Deadpool's health begins to deteriorate inside the cell as his cancer resurfaces. His cancer makes him weak since he is unable to employ his special abilities to heal. Just as Fire Fist and Deadpool are ready to eat in the Icebox, Cable, whose family is murdered by an adult Fire Fist, travels back in time to kill the kid before Fire Fist ever becomes a killer. He fights all of the guards on the scene and searches the cell for Fire Fist. He begins firing at him once he has been located. Deadpool and Fire Fist can be seen fleeing the commotion. In front of them, Cable appears and demands Deadpool to give up the youngster to him. Deadpool, on the other hand, refuses to do so and joins the battle for Fire Fist. He falls from a great height during his face-off with Cable and his body is broken. During the procedure, the collar device gets off of his neck. Without the device, Deadpool is able to utilize his powers and attacks Cable. Cable confronts him with the question of why he is protecting a youngster he has never met. Deadpool responds that the youngster believes he will save him and that he does not want to let him down. After Cable takes Vanessa's token, Deadpool forces himself and Cable out of the prison, but not before Fire Fist overhears Deadpool deny that he cares for the young mutant. Deadpool then notices a grenade in Cable's pocket and he uses it to explode the Icebox so that they can get away from there. Near death again, Deadpool has another vision of Vanessa in which she convinces him to help Fire Fist. After a brief conversation with his friend Weasel at the bar, he advises forming a team to free Fire Fist from the Icebox. Deadpool forms X-Force to rescue Fire Fist from a prison transfer convoy and defend him against Cable. Now on the other hand, we see Weasel getting kidnapped by Cable. Cable questions him about Deadpool's objective and the whereabouts of Fire Fist. Weasel, terrified, tells him everything he knows about Deadpool's intention to organize a team to save Fire Fist. He also informs him that the team will act when Fire Fist is scheduled to be transported from Icebox to another jail. The next day, the X-Force squad attacks the convoy by parachuting from an aircraft and pursuing the police cars carrying Fire Fist. Except for Deadpool and the fortunate Domino, all of the members die during the landing. Domino manages to crash into one of the police cars. Cable also arrives at the location and begins a fight with Domino. While fighting Cable, Fire Fist frees fellow convict Juggernaut, who promises to assist him in killing the rehabilitation center's tyrannical headmaster. The convoy is destroyed, allowing Juggernaut and Fire Fist to escape. Fire Fist is furious at Deadpool because he believes Deadpool abandoned him without protecting or saving him. Deadpool is attacked by Juggernaut, who splits his body into two sections in the center. After that, Fire Fist and his new companion Juggernaut leave the area. After the fight, Domino is seen carrying Deadpool's body pieces. Now in the following scene, Deadpool is shown inside Blind Al's residence. He's sitting on a couch attempting to stretch his small legs, which are growing. Meanwhile, Cable decides to collaborate with Deadpool and Domino to stop Fire Fist's first murder, which will lead to others, and also agrees to give Deadpool the opportunity to calm Fire Fist down. On the other side, Fire Fist and Juggernaut are on their way to the mutant school to assassinate the headmaster. At the mutant school, before Deadpool and his team arrive, Fire Fist and Juggernaut have already entered the building. Juggernaut is seen protecting the door while Fire Fist begins fighting the headmaster. Juggernaut overwhelms Deadpool and his squad once they arrive at the school. They are all being tossed around by the gigantic mutant. They are severely attacked by Juggernaut until Colossus comes to distract Juggernaut, who at first refused to aid Deadpool owing to his violent habits. He begins a fight with Juggernaut, allowing Domino to enter the school. She battles the guards as she enters the school and is able to save all of the students. Soon after, Deadpool and Cable enter the school, and Colossus and Negasonic team up to combat Juggernaut. Inside the school, Fire Fist is ready to kill the headmaster until Cable intervenes. When Deadpool notices this, he stops Cable and reminds him of the agreement he made with him to give Fire Fist a chance to comprehend. Following that, Deadpool appears in front of Fire Fist and tells him that if he continues to fight the headmaster because he tormented him previously, there will be no difference between him and the headmaster. He further adds that if he becomes a murderer at this young age, then no one will accept him and his future will be ruined. He assures him that he is there to save him. Fire Fist, on the other hand, is still enraged at Deadpool and hits him with a massive fireball. Injured, Deadpool awakens and puts the collar device around his neck to assure Fire Fist that he would be there to help him without his abilities. When Deadpool fails to persuade Fire Fist to back away, Cable fires at the young mutant. Deadpool, wearing the Icebox collar, lunges in front of the bullet and dies as the collar disables his ability to heal. He apologizes to everyone and pleads for forgiveness before dying. After his death, he reunites with Vanessa in the afterlife. Vanessa is overjoyed to see him and proud of his sacrifice. She advises him to rejoin the X-Men and continue to serve humanity. Seeing the sacrifice, Fire Fist does not kill the headmaster, which changes the future so that Cable's family now survives. Cable uses the last charge on his time-traveling device, which he needed for returning to his family, to go back several minutes and strap Vanessa's token in front of Deadpool's heart. Now when Wilson takes the bullet for Fire Fist, it is stopped by the token and he survives. Fire Fist still has his change of heart, and afterward the headmaster is run over by Wilson's taxi driver friend Dopinder. In a mid-credit sequence, Negasonic Teenage Warhead and her girlfriend Yukio repair Cable's time-traveling device for Deadpool. He uses it to save the lives of Vanessa and X-Force member Peter, kill X-Men Origins Wolverine's version of Deadpool, and then kill actor Ryan Reynolds while he is considering starring in the film Green Lantern. And that was my recap of the movie. I hope you enjoyed it. Now comment on what your favorite part was, and make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, take care and goodbye.